You don't want to marry this guy.
Yes, I do.
You don't.
Well, you want me to marry you instead?
No, I'm taken. I'm taken. You don't want to marry
Yes, I want to marry this guy.
You'd marry this guy. If the state of Florida lets him get married, you will marry him.
Yes.
And now what kind of relationship is that? He's behind bars. He's facing a trial. You, by your own words, say that he's probably going to get found guilty. If he's found guilty, he'll go to the electric chair. The marriage will never be consummated in the biblical sense. What kind of a life is that for you? Are you a glutton for punishment?
I know it appears that way.
Yeah, it does.
I don't intend to do this ever again. This is maxed.
Well,
I've maxed out. I've maxed out.
I can understand why.
I've maxed out on this. There's a lot about this experience that is not pleasant. I would not recommend that other people run out and do this. The reason that I admitted that I was in love with Danny is because it's undeniable. And people who know me can see it in the way that I speak. And
so Woody Allen says, the heart wants what it wants, and you say, Woody?
The heart has reasons that the mind does not know, I believe is what he said, and that is definitely true, you know. If you find that you're in love, you're dishonest to say you're not, aren't you?
And you're really in love? This guy, the love of your life?
He's certainly a maximum experience in my life. I wouldn't dismiss the other men that I've been in love with.
Well, the word maximum is appropriate here.
Maximum.
I'll tell you what, Sondra London is our guest. Here's a woman who comes forward to say, yes, I love this man. He's accused of a very, very heinous crime, actually 5 very heinous crimes, in addition to bank robbery and other things. But she says she knows a side of this man's personality that nobody else does. What do you think? Stay with us. In Philadelphia. I'm talking about murders where there was decapitation, as Liz mentioned at the beginning of the program. Talking about several of these 5 murders included not only decapitation, multiple stabbings, mutilation. This guy cut a woman's nipple off twice. 2 of the victims had their nipples cut off. 2 of the victims were anally raped. If the man you say you love did this, I think it defies logic how you could not be judgmental in a relationship with somebody like that. That's horrible. That's the most horrible thing that a human being can do to another human being is take their life. And the manner in which he did it stands unique in the annals of crime. Do you ever talk about it with him? And what does he say?
Well, we try to stay away from the case because if I'm implicated as a witness, his attorneys have advised him that he will never see me again.
Okay, let's take a call. Thank you for holding her on the air.
Yes, good morning. I just have a comment. My opinion, I don't really think she's in love with him. I think it's all a financial thing, that when he is electrocuted, she can have book rights, movie rights, and they'll never have a future together. So what's the purpose? You know, I don't understand the purpose of this.
This woman and thousands like her think that you're in this for the dough. That with the night Dan Rawling goes to the electric chair, that night you'll be sitting there talking to Ted Koppel talking about it.
I'd like to point out that Danny Rawling contacted me in June of 1992, and in his very first letter, which I have with me, he asked me to work with him and have the exclusive rights to his story. He had never had any contact with me. I had no contact with him. He gave me his story in his very first letter.
Okay, thanks for calling. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi. I lived in Florida at the time of these killings, and I really think it's disgusting that she's trying to make money off other people's pain, that she's probably going to write a book after this when she knows that there's no future at all in it, and I think she's sick.
Well, okay. Let's get the answer to your question. Yes or no, are you going to write a book about this case?
Absolutely. I've already started it.
Does the state of Florida have a law, like the Son of Sam law in New York, that prohibits him, not you, because you're not charged with anything, but him from profiting from the book?
There's a Son of Sam law in Florida which is very similar to the New York law, which was struck down by the Supreme Court in 1991 as unconstitutional. They have never attempted to enforce this law, except that they have now brought that law against both me and Danny Rawling.
Yeah, but then the caller's right. She's right. That basically do you understand how people can get very cynical? You're in it for the money. You're going to write a book. The book will probably be a bestseller. You will be considerably financially better off than you are now because you say you're not doing very well at all.
Did I say that?
Well, there are published reports that you're not exactly rolling in the dough.
Well, are published reports always correct?
Well, not always, but are you?
Am I what?
Are you wealthy?
No, I'm not wealthy.
Are you poor?
No, I'm not poor.
Are you on assistance of any kind?
No, I'm not on assistance.
So you're okay?
Let me answer your question. Every newspaper, every TV station in the state of Florida has found this story to be the most sensational story that they've ever had, and that has boosted their circulation beyond their wildest dreams. Ann Rule got $100,000 advance for her book on Danny Rolling. Levin and Fox are doing a book on Danny Rolling. God knows how many other books are being done on Danny Rolling. And I see no reason why I should be singled out as being in some way morally incorrect, because I do have the inside story on Danny Rolling, which is what everyone wants to know.